Hi, I'm Father Ed Schmidt here at America Magazine. We're up here on the roof to give you the sense that we're in Metropolis, Superman's Metropolis, or Gotham, Batman's Gotham, because I want to introduce you to a young Jesuit in Poland who's a comic book artist. His name is Przemysław Wysogłon, Przemo to his friends, and he's an artist who uses the medium of comics to tell his stories. He compares this with medieval scribes who did illuminated manuscripts, or artisans who made stained glass, icon painters. All of these people used images to tell a story. He recently published we'd call it a graphic novel or a graphic biography. He calls it a comic book about the life of St. Stanislaus Kostka. And let me tell you a little bit about Stanislaus. Stanislaus was a young Polish aristocrat whose father sent him and his older brother Paul, to Vienna to go to the Jesuit college there. He was born in 1550, Stanislaus was. He and Paul were good friends, but also Paul tended to bully him. And they were very, very different people. Paul was kind of worldly and wild. Stanislaus, much more quiet, scholarly, and saintly. He became a saint at a very early age. So the book tells the story of Stanislaus's life, his faith, and his devotion. At one point, the bullying got too much for him, and he decided to run away. He wanted to become a Jesuit, but because his father was certainly going to object to that, he escaped from Vienna and went off to Germany to find Peter Canisius, who was the superior. Well, he made his way, having a narrow escape from Paul, who comes out looking for him on the road but doesn't recognize him because he changed his clothes with a beggar. He gets to Germany, and Peter Canisius says, well, your dad's an aristocrat. I can't accept you into the Society of Jesus without his permission. And they knew he'd never get permission. So Peter says, I know what I'll do. I'll send you off to Rome, where the Father General, Francis Borgia, is a duke, and he can outrank your father, and he can make the decision about whether you can be a Jesuit. Well, in the book, Przemo uses very modern images mixed into the Baroque era. He makes allusions to pop music, references to things like solidarity, visual puns. The name Kostka means a little block, and at one point in two of the images, Stanislaus has dice in his hand. That's Kostka in Polish. There's also Rubik's Cubes and little blocks of chocolate and paving blocks. Those are all puns on the name. And he makes references to some of his favorite comic book characters, like Batman. And the back of the book says, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me, Batman. So it uses modern references, modern allusions, modern images, but it also mixes it into this old story of a young boy, a teenager, who became a saint. Przemo himself was born in Wadowice, which is better known today as the hometown of John Paul II. He grew up in a family of artists. His mother was an artist, his father a photographer, and that's where he learned his art, basically self-taught, but with help from family and others. He never studied art formally, but he did study art history, and in fact, that's how he came into contact with the Jesuits, through art history. What Przemo is trying to do in this beautiful book of his is to show that a young guy like Stanislaus, who fought and fought for his vocation and his devotion, that a young guy like him had pretty much the same issues as young people today, as teenagers and later adolescents. They face the same kind of pressures, the same kind of questions, the same kind of doubts, the same kind of needs to make their own mark in the world. Stanislaus did all of that, and Przemo hopes that through his story, he becomes available to young people today. So I thank Przemo for this work he's done, this great work. I know I wouldn't claim to be a saint in any way, and I don't know about Przemo, I don't know about you, but I still would say, like Peter Canisius did to Francis Borgia about Stanislaus, spodziewam się po nim wielkie rzeczy. We look forward to some awesome things from him. Thanks to Artur and Pavel and Eric for help with this, and thank you.